points I brought out were what Ken Ham had said in his website. So I'm not going to spend too much time because he should take it up with Ken Ham about these things. And I think he should care what Henry Morris or Ken Ham or these others, because he's setting himself up as a cult leader when he says, I don't care about what anyone else says, because I believe it this way. So I think he also needs to be careful about being a cult leader, because he should understand what Ken Ham is saying and Henry Morris and Hugh Ross. As far as I'll just mention the dinosaur and human footprints here, some pictures here. The president of our institute is Dr. Murray, who worked for the Smithsonian until he got kicked out because he converted to Christ. He went down there and took these pictures and was helping Carl Ball out with these. You can go to our website and see as many pictures here. And it doesn't show up too well here. But he made a cast of this and took it to an expert in podiatry. And he said, no, this is not a human footprint. And Dr. Murray does not believe these are footprints at all. And he took them to experts on this, and they are not. And he's the president of our organization. I want to switch to something else here. I mentioned some of these other things that he mentioned. Most of the scientists in the world disagree with him. The speed of light, I'll just mention this. They went back to, in Europe, to the museums and got out some of these old instruments to measure the speed of light again. And they found out it was the same. So they measured it like 200 years ago. They measured it today, found it was the same. It was the instruments that they were using. They're not as accurate as we have today. And it gave the same reading 200 years ago as it does today. So it shows that the speed of light is not slowing down. And I just referred you to Ken Ham's site for these other ones that he said, the mutations. Read that about what Ken Ham says about the mutations. That wasn't what I said. What I wanted to be mentioned that there are scientific statements in the Bible. I worked on my master's degree, and that's what I wanted to do. Look at the Bible. Is there some scientific facts there? Some amazing modern science that the ancient Hebrews, if they read it, they wouldn't understand it, but it was today's modern science. And so I worked on my thesis on looking up some of these phrases that seem to be modern, amazing science in the Bible. And I just want to take a look at some of these. One of them is the circle of the earth. And the key thing is this an amazing phrase, or is it just a common phrase that they used in the ancient Near East? What does it say in the Targums, in the Septuagint, in Ugaritic? Ugaritic is the closest cognate language to Hebrew. And so I went through a number of different texts. I found out, sure enough, these are common phrases that were used back in the ancient Near East. They're not modern scientific phrases. Isaiah 40:22, it talks about the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants are as grasshoppers, that stretched out the heavens as a curtain and spread them out as a tent to dwell in. Notice the parallelism there. They saw the sky as a big tent. It's descriptive, poetic language here. They're not trying to commute scientific truths. And this is a conservative fundamentalist dictionary. It says the Hebrew chute means circle or vault. It does not mean sphere. And I showed you this picture. Here's an ancient picture. It's 500 years ago, before Christ. The circle of the earth. The circle of the sea. This is also mentioned in the Bible. This is from King Tut. The circle of the earth. The circle of the heavens is also mentioned in the Bible. And here, in the Egyptian, here's the circle of the heavens with the constellations. In Job 38:18, hast thou then spread out the sky which is strong as a molten looking glass? They thought the sky was something that was solid, that the waters above it were held up. Well, it says in Genesis 1:20, in the open firmament, the birds flew. Now, some say, well, the birds are flying in the firmament. But that same Hebrew phrase is used in Genesis 1:2. That says, upon the face of the waters. If we say in, we make the Holy Spirit treading water, and I don't think that's happening. So a better translation is, the birds are flying across the face of the firmament. The firmament was something solid, and below it was the abyss, the deep, the nothingness. Well, I looked at another one. He hangeth the earth upon nothing. Surely this is scientific fact here, that we have amazing truths here. But that's not how the ancient Hebrews understood it. He stretched out the north over the empty place. He's talking about stretching out the sky over the abyss, the void, which is mentioned in Genesis 1:2. And he hangeth the earth upon nothing, or stretched it out over this deep abyss. And we can see this by the parallelism. It also talks in Psalm 136:6, to him that stretched out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever. So it's not talking about an earth suspended in outer space. It's talking about the earth being stretched out over the void. It also mentions the pillars of the earth. How can you have the earth hanging on nothing when there's pillars supporting the earth, it says? The pillars of heaven support the heavens. The four corners of the earth. The ends of the earth. In 1 Samuel 2:8, not a poetic passage, says, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. The Hebrew word for pillar means to melt. Therefore, pillar refers to a molten-like pillar. The only other place it occurs is in 1 Samuel 14:5, referring to the mountain. The pillars of the earth are the same thing as the foundations of the earth, which were the mountains. They saw the mountains as holding up the earth and the heavens and the sky. Well, what about Job 38:14? The earth is turned as clay to a seal. Isn't that talking about spinning around on a potter's wheel? No. The word seal is not talking about a potter's wheel. It's talking about a seal. A cylinder seal or a stamp seal. And here's a picture I put up of one of the seals. They stamped it. In the book of Revelation, the 7 seals, they had a papyrus, and they would put wax, and they would stamp a seal. And on this one, there's 7 seals in the book of Revelation. It's not talking about a potter's wheel. David translated, the dawn is like the signet ring, which stamps a definite impress on the earth as clay.